He is the MMA referee. He is the pioneer of MMA refereeing. He literally wrote the book on MMA officiating. There is no greater source. No one has greater credibility in MMA as far as officiating is concerned than Big John McCarthy. He is the man who will be replacing Jimmy Smith. This is a fascinating move. I can't wait to dig into it. He is kind enough to be joining us, 5 days before his Bellator television debut. We're talking to Big John McCarthy right now on the magic of Skype. There he is, right over there. I thought it was phone, but it's Skype. Big John, how are you, my friend? Good to see you.
Good seeing you, Ariel. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Wow, this is fascinating stuff. And you know what's interesting about this? There's a lot of new fans. You know this. I mean, you've been there from day one. I got the sense last week that a lot of people forgot about the old Fight Network days. People talking about how big of a switch this is for you and everything. It was like deja vu all over again. I remember this. You did the press conference, the conference call. It was Huerta Guida. You were walking away. You were going to be the John Madden. We've been through this together with you. People forgot, it seemed.
Yeah, kind of a little bit different circumstances, thank God. But it is, I guess, a second coming of it. But it's a completely different situation, and why I'm leaving is completely different. So, this is a new thing for me, and I can't wait to get started.
Why is it different this time?
Oh my God! First off, I want to say I'm not leaving for any other reason that I look and say, man, you know what? I had a scare, this year, and I got hurt really bad, and I was gone for a while. Some people didn't realize, and that's kind of cool. I kind of like that, but it was, I'm not the same person, and I'm not in a position. I used to be able to, do things that I could grab someone and just pick them up, and those days are gone for me. I hurt my neck really bad. I actually got paralyzed on one side of my body, and it taught me a lesson, and it made me realize how fast I could absolutely lose what I love doing. And it was a matter of this, I had no idea that I was going to do this until 2018. As far as, I went and did the UFC December 30th. And, hey, I was getting ready to do shows for 2018. I was supposed to actually be reffing at the Bellator show in Los Angeles. And then the next week in Pachanga. And I got a call from Scott Coker, and he asked me if I would be interested in auditioning for the slot of, what Jimmy Smith did and did with such, great skill and such flair. He gave me the opportunity, and I looked at it, and it was something that's like, I can't pass that up. Let me go see if they even think I have the ability to. So I went out and I did the audition, and it all worked out. What happened in the past, I was mad and I was angry at people, and that's why I left. And this is completely different. I want to tell everyone, man, I am so happy with everything that I've been able to do in the last, 10 years of refereeing, with the people I've been able to work with, the people I've been able to help, the promotions that I've been able to work with. The UFC is, phenomenal. I love them. I'm going to miss a ton of people there. At least I get to stay with the people at Bellator, and I get to see them because they're phenomenal people and just great to work with. So I'm going to be losing a lot in that, I don't get to see a lot of the people that I really consider, friends and people I like working with. But you know what? You got to take chances in this world. And there was no place for me to go really in the officiating world. I mean, I loved what I did, but I didn't want to be the guy that hung on too long, and I didn't want to fall. I didn't want to start going down, and I didn't want someone telling me, man, you need to get out. You're not doing things right. So it was a chance for me to get out on my own terms.
When did you injure your neck?
I injured my neck July 11th of 2017. I know the date well.
Wow.
And I didn't know it until July 12th, but that's when I heard it.
What were you doing?
I was teaching, and I was going over a Darce choke, and I was having someone that wasn't doing it correctly. And, we were all rolling and doing stuff, and I let them put me in it, and they weren't doing it correctly, and they were doing it more. It was more of a neck crank the way they were doing it. So I'm inside the choke, and I'm talking to them, telling them what to do to make it right. And I was probably in it for 90 seconds or so. And, finally they get enough pressure and they do all the right things and they sink their hips. And I say, okay. And I tap and I get up and I was fine. And the next day I was in trouble, man. I had fire shooting down. If anyone's ever played football or hockey and slammed their head into someone and get that stinger, that burn that goes down your arm, I had that and it would not go away.
Oh, wow.
And I went for all this time trying to, do all these things to try to get it to go away. Finally, in I want to say September, I went in and I had surgery done, and that didn't work completely. So I had a second surgery done.
Wow.
And finally it went away. But I'll tell you what, for a while, I didn't think I was ever going to get rid of that burn.
Wow. So how do you feel right now?
I feel great right now.
Okay.
Look at my neck's never going to be the same. I've got problems, that I can, feel it. It's not going to move. It's been fused. I already had one operation before, so this is the third neck operation I've ever had. So, you know what? It's just, hey, somebody's telling me something. So that's really why, this whole move came about.
And like what exactly, when you were doing that, Darstoke, when you were in there for 90 seconds, like what happened? Like what led to you getting, into this kind of pain, half paralyzed? Like, do you know what happened in there?
Well, I know now what happened, but at the time, like I said, at the time I stood up, I didn't feel anything. It was fine. It didn't hurt me. It was the next day. And then what I found out is, I'd already had 2 discs replaced before. My C3 and C4, I'd actually crushed the disc before, and they'd gone in and put fake disc in. They put like this cage thing around it. And I went and I destroyed the C5, 6, and 7 and actually broke the disc apart. And it was pinching down and crushing the nerves. There's nerve bundles that come out from obviously your spine and lead down into your arms and legs. And the ones that were leading into my arms just were crushed. And so my thumbs were completely numb. My fingers were numb. I had that burn that went down from my shoulder. My shoulders were what was killing me because I had this constant burn. And my wife was the one, you could see it was every day you would see it muscular atrophy because my signal was just crushed and it wasn't doing anything. And it just was a serious problem. So they went and fused that. And then the second one, they ended up putting in spacers and stuff to try to take the pressure off of the nerves. And that eventually worked. So I'm back as far as that. But rolling is something I'm probably not going to be doing as much of.
Wow. And when did you come back to refereeing? This happened July, you said, then September, the surgery. When did you actually come back?
November 4th for George St. Pierre and Michael Bisping.
Wow. So you come back for essentially 2 months and now you say goodbye. And it hasn't been like you never said in the release retire. And I know you did media last week and you never said retire. Why haven't you retired from MMA refereeing?
Because, it's something I'm not going to sit there and say I'm retired because, there's small shows that are out there that, I do charity work. I go and I referee for free. I've done it, all over the place. And, I'm not going to sit there and say, I'm not going to do that. So that's not retired. If I wanted to go, in my contract, if I want to go and I want to work internationally or something like that, I can go and work as a referee if I want. Obviously, the thing that people are looking at is they're looking at, well, can you do the UFC? And no, I can't do the UFC. That would be ridiculous for both Bellator and the UFC. But it's, I've had a great run. I've had 24 years with the UFC basically. And it's been, something, I'll treasure forever. And those people are phenomenal and I'm going to miss them. But, it's the same as you. You've got to make choices and you never know what's the right choice. You don't have that crystal ball, but you try to make the choice that you think, this is something that I can attack. I can work hard at. I'm doing more work right now trying to get ready for one show with Bellator as a color commentator than I have worked at trying to get ready because I'm so comfortable refereeing. I watch fights and, I do some homework that way, but that's about it. Here, I'm doing a ton because I don't want to be a failure.
Right. Did you hear from any of the commissions? California, I know you're close with Andy Foster, Nevada, another notable one. What did they say to you after this news came out?
Everyone's been really good. California came out and Andy was great. He says, I think that's a great opportunity for you. He says, you should definitely take that. He goes, but you're really screwing me as far as now I don't have my main referee that I use. And it's like, I'm going to miss it. Nevada came out, Bob Bennett came out and told me, congratulations. He tried to give me some advice even, which I appreciated. And everyone's been really good about it.
You don't owe the sport of MMA anything, in my opinion. You've been doing this long enough. You were there. Like I said, you wrote the book, right? We are very thankful, and we should be very grateful that there ever was a big John McCarthy in MMA. Did you feel at all any responsibility? Like, gosh, did you ever think, like, are the refs in good hands? Is the sport in good hands? 10 years ago, maybe that wasn't the case when you did the Fight Network thing, but guys have emerged, right? There's a lot more competent and veteran referees now than there were 10 years ago. Like, did you think, okay, I need to make sure that everything's cool because you've invested so much in the sport and you were the guy, you were the very first. Like, we throw around the word pioneer. You are a pioneer. Not many people can claim that. Did you have that internal discussion at all when you made this decision?
Yeah, only the really old people can claim pioneer.
It's a feather in your cap.
You know what? I don't know about that, but it's a matter of I have thought about it, and I've worked towards making certain things happen. Though MMA is a different sport. It's so hard for people to understand when they're really not part of it. But with athletic commissions the way we have them, we have all of these separated, entities state to state, and the problem that we have is in disseminating information out to officials and things like that. It's not a smooth system because it's not like the NFL brings everybody together or Major League Baseball brings everyone together. We don't do that. So one of the things that I set up is, I have my command program that I've been teaching, and I go and I teach for the ABC, which is the Association of Boxing Commissions. And I've set up other people to be instructors in that and to carry on putting out the proper information for other officials, putting out the proper information for the actual athletic commission, so things move on in the right direction. So we're going in a direction that people are still learning and they're getting the right information. So everybody, our whole goal when you're looking at referees is we want everyone to be in that same box. We want everyone in a given situation, everyone's going to make basically the same determination. They're going to make the same call, because we don't want people being outside of the box, because then the fans and the fighters are in a position of, well, what's right? Who's doing it right? Well, I like what this guy's doing. But the other one, I like what this one's doing. You can't have that. You've got to have everybody on the same page. So I'm not leaving as far as teaching. I will still teach. I will still be there to help out with athletic commissions. I'll still be a pain in their ass. I know, there's ones out there that hate me, and that's great, because, I look at it, this is not about the athletic commissions. It's not about, who is the best commission. It's about doing what's right for the fighters. That's what's important. And, when we get all the athletic commissions together doing the right things for the fighters, then I'll be the one that walks away and says, okay, you guys are doing great.
So I said at the top, this isn't your first rodeo as a color analyst. Of course, you did the Fight Network gig, although there's a big difference there. This time you're working for the promotion as opposed to working for a network covering other promotions. So obviously that's one distinction. Do you feel like
huge difference?
Huge difference, yes. And so I'm wondering, like, for you, like, do you think like maybe you can't be as critical? You know how this game goes. Like, now you're working for the promotion, you're paid by the promotion. Do you worry at all about that? Because we remember back in the day when you were working for Fight Network, some people got mad about comments that you made. Nevada, Keith Kyle. I mean, we don't need to go through all that. Is it different now? You can't be as critical. Are you worried about that? Because you're kind of a straight shooter. You like to tell it like it is.
I believe that you tell the truth. Mm-hmm. If someone doesn't like the truth, the best part about the truth, it doesn't change. If I say something and goes, oh, yeah, that's wrong, you can sit there and say it's wrong all you want. But if it's the truth, it's not going to change. It will be what it is. It's going to stand on its own legs. And I look at, no matter what, if I'm talking about what athletic commissions are doing or what officials are doing or what fighters are doing, I'm just going to put out the truth. The funny part for me is, I've had, 99.9% of the people have been great about, hey, congratulations, you're going to do great, all that stuff. And I'll get the ones out there that say something to the effect of, I wonder if he knows what he's looking at and stuff like that. Uh-huh. And it's like, it's so funny that people think that, I'm so hard on referees and I'm so hard on them knowing everything that the fighters are doing and going and putting yourself in places and positions to learn what is the new element that's coming in, because as the referee, you've got to know everything. If you don't know everything, you're going to get caught in making a mistake. You're going to get caught behind a situation. The more you know, the slower the fight goes for you. And so I think it's kind of funny that some of the people are wondering if I actually know what fighters are going to be doing. So yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that part. So I'm going to enjoy being able to talk about things. I think I'm going to be able to talk about some things that are different than other analysts because there's certain things that I know that they're never going to know because they were never in my shoes and never able to be part of what I've done.
You're obviously very good friends with a lot of referees. If someone blows a call or something, you feel comfortable critiquing them, saying what they did wrong?
Yeah, well, I think the thing is, you don't sit there. We have, if you go back and you watch when we have controversy, as comes up, a lot of it's because the analyst doesn't know what they're doing and they don't understand what the referee is doing, and it doesn't make sense to them. So then they're saying, I don't get this. What is he doing? And they're starting to talk where, look, if someone makes a mistake, like I said, I'm going to be honest about it. Okay, that's a mistake. And I'm going to say, well, this is how the mistake happened. And I'm going to explain it to people so they understand exactly this is what the referee mechanically should have been doing. This is what would have kept that from happening. And this is where now it's led. You've got to be honest about it. But I think I'm going to be able to actually cover more officials in what they do. I'm going to be able to cover the judges in what decisions they come up with, because I'm going to put out the information that is what is the criteria for the judges to go off to judge this fight. I'm not going to sit there and start to get into, oh, he's going for a takedown in the last 10 seconds. That's going to steal him the round. I hear that all the time. And I just look at the TV and I slap my head and go, what the hell is wrong with you? That is not what is going to change this round. But that's what's put out there, and so people believe it. So hopefully I have a voice in educating the fans so they actually start to enjoy the fights even more.
Bellator has a pretty loaded schedule. It starts on Saturday for 2018. Will you be at every event? No,
I will not be at every event. I have a contract that gives me a certain amount of events, but that's also flexible. They've said this is the least amount of events you're going to do, and we might want to move you into more events and stuff because you have other people that have contracts and they have deals with Bellator. So I know Chael is going to be doing a lot of commentating, and sometimes it might be just Chael, and sometimes it might be a 3-man booth. And if it is, that's awesome because Chael's great to work with.
I'd imagine you've known Mike Goldberg for quite some time. You guys, growing up together at UFC. What's it going to be? Yeah, so I mean, he's your partner, right, on Saturday? What's that going to be like for you? Does it make it a little easier considering the fact that you have this relationship with him, you're friends?
Oh, absolutely. It makes life so easy for me because look at Mike has been a friend of mine since early in the UFCs, and it's like working with your brother. And so the one thing is I'm going to rely on Mike. Mike is. People have no idea, the fans sit there and they think that it's so easy to talk. They have no idea how much is going on and how much Goldberg actually does. And when Goldie is on the mic, let's be honest. If you're going to ask about who's the voice for play-by-play of MMA, it's Mike Goldberg. And I get to work with that guy. And so I'm just absolutely ecstatic. We also have Mauro Ranallo, who is unbelievable. He's a freaking genius in some of the stuff he does. He's incredible. I get to work with him at times too, but how could you not love coming into a situation where you're working with the two freaking kings of it? John Anik over in the UFC. I love him. He's awesome. He puts in the work to be phenomenal. He does a great job. And those are the three, bases you're looking at, and I get to work with two of them.
You'll still be refereeing boxing, correct?
I will still be working with boxing. I'm still going to be working in California. The day after, on the 27th, I'll be doing judging for boxing and stuff. And there's people that are probably going to look at that and go, "Well, that's not right. That's ridiculous. There's no crossover. What's the only crossover? McGregor and Mayweather? Come on."
Yeah.
There's no crossover between MMA and boxing.
Favorite MMA fight that you refereed? What comes to mind? What's number one?
That's impossible. I get asked that all the time.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's think about it. Okay. Yeah. Think in the last 7-8 years, I've probably done 5 of what was considered fight of the years.
Yeah.
So how do I sit there and say, how do I sit there and say that the trilogy between Randy Couture and Chuck Liddell? I'll throw that to the side because there was some huge moments in that. Take a look at UFC 43 when Randy beat Chuck. No one expected it. Okay, it was not going to happen. Everyone said the UFC was setting Chuck up for this light, heavyweight belt and stuff, and didn't happen. Randy comes in there and just absolutely dominates the fight, and then Chuck comes back and I think it was UFC 52 and wins the title with knockout. Great. John Jones against Alexander Gustafsson in Toronto.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Rory McDonald against Robbie Lawler. I mean, how do you pick between those?
All right.
I would tell you, look at,
Yeah.
Are those some of my favorites? Those are some of my favorites. Then you got Michael Johnson against Justin Gaethje. Look at that one. That's going to be fight of the year this year.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. You can't pick one. It's like your kids.
Exactly. They all, it's exactly, they all have their special moments to you.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Well, I think this is great. I really do. I'm sorry to hear about the neck. I'm sorry to hear, but I'm happy to hear that you're feeling better. And it's crazy how things work out, right? I mean, it's amazing. What do you think? Would you have just continued refereeing or just step back? What do you think would have happened? Something would have had to give, right? With how you're feeling and the travel and everything. What would have happened if you didn't get presented with this opportunity?
No, I had 3 opportunities for different jobs. I've been offered a couple of jobs, but I wasn't sure about taking them because I was happy with refereeing. And at this moment, I'm good. I mean, I've worked myself back. I'm not near as strong as I used to be, but I've figured out ways to do things a little bit different. And I would have been fine going on with the refereeing. The only problem with the refereeing is all the travel that I do. That gets to you after a while. But I would have been fine just continuing on with the referee. It's just that, when you look and you go, if you're going to go to any place to do color commentary, in the world of MMA, there's 2 places that you pick, and, the UFC and Bellator. Those are the 2 you're looking at and say, man, I'd really like to be the person there. And I was given an opportunity to be that person. That's hard to turn down when you look at, the long-term effect of it. If you can make it and do it right and get people to appreciate the work you do, that's a place that you can stay and be happy with the people you're working with, the fighters you get to call. All of that that had a huge consideration for me.
Very happy for you. Congratulations, John. You've truly given a lot to the sport. Now I'm very excited to see what you do on the other side of the fence, so to speak. I think it's a great call. Can't wait to hear you with Mike, with Morrow, with Chael, 3-man booth. I mean, I think it's a really nice sort of out of left field. Like you weren't on the radar as far as rumors were concerned, and there you were. So it's pretty cool. It's a nice job by Bellator. Best of luck to you on Saturday. And thanks for always being, a friend to me. Always, through the ups and downs, you've always texted me and reached out, and I've always appreciated that. So it won't end here, but I just want to say that publicly. Thank you so much, and I wish you nothing but the best come Saturday and beyond with this new gig.
Hey, thank you so much. I want you to know you have been phenomenal. People have no idea how much that you actually know at times, and you never put out. You're a class act. You're a quality journalist. Thank you for everything you do, Ariel.
Thank you, John. Looking forward to it on Saturday. Appreciate it.
Looking forward to it too. See you then.
There he is, Big John.